marked the return of Survivor Season 24, Survivor One World. Host Jeff Probst made his usual stunning entrance on a helicopter. We're going to get right to the highlights of tonight's show. It was by far the best opening series for Survivor I have seen in all of the years it started. 2 thumbs up. Jeff splits the people, men on one side, women on the other. The men are from the tribe Mananu and the women are from the tribe Solani. And immediately he says, "You have a minute to strip." And the second the word strip comes out of Jeff's mouth, clothes started hitting the ground from the women's side. By the time he finished the sentence, it was strip everything off that truck, but it was so funny watching items of clothing hit the ground so fast. So immediately everybody rushes over to the truck. We're going to get everything off. Big strapping guys, they're pulling stuff off, and the girls are pulling stuff off. Now the guys have the advantage here, let's be clear. Their bodies are stronger and they can pull anything off. But what do? They resort to sneaking over to the women's side and stealing what items they pulled off the truck. Automatically, the guys are just a bunch of I'm going to use a nice word here. Okay, I can't think of a nice word. So, they steal items from the women, and they're so proud of it. They're like, "We just stole your stuff, ha ha ha." And it's men versus the women, and we can steal from you. And I just thought that was, kind of cheesy and pathetic for big guys who would have walked away with more than the women in the first place. So, then Jeff says, "Here are your maps to your tribes and go find your islands." Here's where karma comes in, and I just loved it because the men stole all of the women's stuff. They had to carry all of that stuff to their island, to their spot on the beach. Guess what? It was the same spot. It was so terrific watching the men lug all the stuff, and the one guy saying, "Oh, I just can't believe Leaf can carry as much as he can." Have you looked at Leaf? Leaf has more muscles on his body, even though he's a quote-unquote little person, than you have anywhere on your body. You are a doughboy, and he's a muscle-bound guy. Of course he's going to do better than you. So the guys have to haul all of their take back to the same island, and they're very cocky. They think they've just won everything. Back at the new Ceylani Manano tribe mixed beachfront, there are chickens running around, and they all agree that they're going to work together, to catch the chickens. Well, unfortunately for these big guys, they suck at it, and Chelsea is really good. So Survivor's playing this twangy, funny music in the background, and she catches not one, but 2 of the chickens, and she's standing there holding those chickens, and all I can hear is the song, "Country Girls Can Survive." I know, I won't sing anymore, I promise. So she's holding these chickens, and the guys are like, "Well, give us one." And she says, "I don't know, let me think about it." And the girls go back and talk about it. Now, you have to remember, the guys just got done stealing all their stuff. When the girls say, "You know what, we're going to hang on to the chickens," Matt gets all indignant. "You are..." Matt is such an arrogant piece of work, it's unbelievable. So now he wants an apology from the women. The guys get a fire going, and the girls come over, and they're trying to get some fire, but the guys are like, "No, you wouldn't share a chicken with us." Well, you stole crap from them. What do you expect? So the girls don't get fire right away. They come over several times attempting to get fire. During the middle of the night, 2 girls go over, get fire from the guys while they're sleeping, dummies. But they didn't feed the fire. It's called wood, people, to keep it going. Now, because there's no fire and their womanly charms are not working on these guys, Christina goes over and strikes a deal that they will weave palm fronds in exchange for fire, to which Alicia is immediately extremely and weirdly upset by. She thinks that Christina is making her way in with the guys and making secret deals behind her back, and Alicia's got a street way about her. She's way, way, way street. So Alicia just doesn't like Christina, and she's got a thing going about it. So we get to the challenge. Now, I don't know how many times Jeff has to say, "Keep your arms inside the vehicle and land on your back," but apparently nobody on that island can hear, and one right after another, they jump off into this net in every which form except the way Jeff said. Then there's the wrist break. Courtney, one of the fragiler people on the women's team, lands, snaps her wrists, and the game is halted because of that. The men are ahead at that point, and Jeff says, "Now technically, The men can win at this point. But they also have the option to finish the game and have it right there, that they actually won it by winning, not by default of somebody breaking their wrist. Now these big, strapping men who could easily win and were already ahead decided that they would just take the win instead of finishing out the game. What a coward's way. I'm looking at these men thinking to myself, oh, what kind of men are you? Because men I know would rather say, I'd rather win on my own terms. I'd rather win because I finished the competition and I won because I beat them. Not because one of their members fell, broke a wrist, and they had to forfeit. But not these guys. No, not Survivor One World guys. Manano. We're going to have to come up with a name for these guys. But they're just, not so nice. Okay, moving on. They decide to get on to the tribal council. Now, all of a sudden, the women seem to be working well together, in my opinion, everything they showed. Sabrina. Love me some Sabrina. She finds the idol for the Mananu tribe and has to give it to them before the first tribal council. Now, we have Colton, and he's the gay guy, and he has immediately gone over to the girls and said, I just want to be friends with you guys. You are the ones I feel most comfortable with. And he begs them that if they find the idol, please give it to him. He, right away, day one, he went and did this. So Sabrina finds the idol, and after thinking about it, she says to him, what's the split over there? He says 4-4, and I'm the one in the middle. And she says, so, if I give you an idol, you can take out one of the strongest guys. The deal is, she gives him the idol, and he takes out Matt, which would be really nice. But we'll see if that happens. So then we get to tribal council, and the streak comes on in Alicia in ways that, you're just like, what is your deal, lady? Christina got them fire, but Alicia's mad because she made a deal to weave palm fronds in order to get the fire. Would you rather go out without fire? What's the big deal? Very, very street. She even mentioned, if we were somewhere, I'd beat you up right now. For making a deal to get fire? Really? Seriously? That's the kind of attitude you have? And Christina says, you're getting all the facts wrong, so shut up. And I was like, wow, well, you go, Christina. She wasn't being bullied by Street. Anyhow, Street's going to be my new name for Alicia, I think. We're just going to call her Street from now on. The tribal council ends up that Courtney has out of the game, so they don't have to vote anybody off, and then they go back. Next week's premiere promos, I don't even watch them because last year they promoted things that never happened, and so the women are down 1, and the guys are just a tad bit on the arrogant, we're going to kick these women's rear end side, but at the same time, cheating, stealing, and just being overall yucky. Go women.